than the Pharma bull, Porinju Veliyath, joining in on the show right now to talk about exactly that. Porinju, where have you been?
I have been here all the way. Good morning.
Good morning. So much happening, Porinju. How should the Indian investor be looking at equities right now and cut through all the noise around?
It's true that there's too much noise around the tariffs, but I think it will be a passing phase. The world will continue to do business, and trade between countries with or without America. It's not a big issue. But we cannot approach the whole, crazy situation by a crazy man doing. We can't approach it with a lot of sentimental kind of look. India has come up a long way as a very stable nation, a strong country in the last decade. We are very different today. We have our own individuality, personality. We have been evolving. We have evolved as a globally, one of the biggest, not in terms of the size of the economy, overall, we are a very strong nation. We have our identity. We are not going to react, on a sudden feeling or sentiments for this kind of a thing. Everybody knows about Trump. Even those who voted for him also knows he's a bit crazy, little uncivilized, or kind of personality. But what is happening and the way he impulsively talking, all kind of things, sudden decisions, just on personal grounds or personal insult, he makes huge decisions on large countries like India. So this will be passing phase. We don't know. We can't depend on one person, one individual, or as a president of one nation, the biggest nation, of course, today, US. Presidents and, people will come and go. The India-US relationship is very strong. It will continue to be strong in the long term. We have to look as a responsible country, as a very strong nation. We have to, I'm happy the government is doing exactly the same thing. We are not responding. We are not trying to escalate with words. We are going, very rational about it. We are talking the facts, and very mature kind of an approach by India. Something to be appreciated. So I think investors need not worry too much about it. For the time being, there is an issue, and we will overcome that.
Indeed, we will. But Porinju, as an investor, what is it that you should be buying right now? What is it that you should be avoiding right now? Purely because there's so much uncertainty, not just on what comes about from the tariffs, but also earnings and a little bit of slowdown too back home.
Yeah, coming back to the market and economy. So as everyone will agree, the highest growth rate in any large economy. India is going through a very vibrant economy. We are growing. Actually our growth, the ecosystem we are creating, the platform we are creating for a much higher growth is not fully reflecting in today's 6 or 6.5% or 7% growth. See, our domestic economy itself, domestically, we are very big. Domestically, we are growing to between 6 to 6.5%. So that's what investors should focus. The domestic market, goods and services. And another very important thing, many small-time guys in the market are not aware. These tariffs, these crazy tariffs they are temporarily talking about or trying to bargain with India. It's all about goods, not about services. And when it comes to global exports, service part is the biggest, part of India's exports. And it's growing steadily, even though there are some apprehensions about the disruptions could be happening because of the AI revolution happening. It may not be fully true. Of course, the first top layer and second layer, and maybe the third layer, it's about the AI applications in which India has to play a very big role globally in the coming days and years. So there is tremendous opportunity in building up the AI applications and technology. And there are many Indian companies already started doing it. Some of them have already established, many products and doing business with many companies globally. So there may be uncertainty when it comes to IT, but there are opportunities also in the same side. There are pockets of opportunities in everywhere. But again, coming to the market situation, we should not forget, it's not a very cheap market, in the sense which can excite a value investor. In general, I'm talking about the broader market. So our valuations are not very, very low, and it's not what you call a place where you can do bargain hunting in a big way. But there are opportunities. We always have been going through opportunities. It will happen in the future also. There are pockets of opportunities, which, as I told, for the domestic market focused companies, companies which are into exports of services, in the AI segment. A lot of things are evolving. So investors have to be open for stock picking, what do you call the cherry picking of stocks. That kind of an opportunity is there. But broader market in general is not an exciting value for picking. We have to be very smart in choosing pockets of opportunities. That's all about Indian markets as such. And the economy will continue to do well. These all are temporary flips. And as I told earlier, India is such a country, cannot just depend on one person, Mr. Trump, his feelings, his childish behavior. So those kind of one individual's kind of behavior or misbehavior is not going to change India.
Absolutely, and that's why we have you, Porinju. It's all about stock picking, cherry picking, but in this market, it's not going to be that easy. Tell us some themes that you're looking at.
The themes are the same. It's about, the domestically, motivated businesses. It's a huge domestic market still emerging. So we are not that dependent on the exports and imports of goods, to be very frank. It is there, it's important. Some companies like textile sector companies and some of the other, where we are very strong in manufacturing and exporting. So some of those companies, I think they have already sobered down. So now he made 25% to 50%. Today evening he may say, get some other feeling. He may say 100% tariff. So these all are a passing phase of, a tariff war. And he also, he's not always talking what he has in mind. He's maybe trying to do a hard bargain with India. Before I understand the US team is coming to India by the end of the month. So he wants to do certain, such kind of statements without any responsibility. That's the biggest problem for everybody in the world today. The biggest nation and its leader is talking without responsibility or without thoughtfulness. So it's a crisis for the world today, but it's a passing phase. So let us look at the opportunity again, as I told, domestic market-oriented companies, and which are now using the technology for better growth and better quality of products and services. So there are a lot of them. So one need not really worry about these things. Stay invested. Don't be excited. There is time. Give time and cool down.
Right, and Porinju, hi, morning. Since you are bullish on domestic facing themes, would consumption be a theme that now has started to look attractive, given that staples have seen a little bit of a recovery in the Q1 and earnings have not been all that bad? Would you perhaps merit a relook at the entire internal consumption space right now, because it is coming out of a little bit of a slump?
To be very frank, I'm not looking into any such themes or any particular segments or industries of the economy as such. See, the macros, I think investors should now focus on the macros. We are going through a fantastic, comfortable macro economic aspects. It's still growing at 6.5% around. And when we talk the way interest rates are sober and likely to come down further. Inflation is under control. Our fiscal deficit is in a comfortable position. So there are a lot of things, and all those elements are very good. Luckily, we have a very strong, leadership and stable government today. which are not just fooling around. They're doing things. I should appreciate the way our external affairs minister or many of the our leaders, political leaders, are behaving. Very responsibly. India has been always responsible. Not that I'm just telling. Recently it became responsible. We have been keeping the policy of non-alignment. We have the freedom to buy oil from anybody whom we want, because our security, energy security, is very important. You have to feed 1,400 million people, which is 18% of the world. We can't just go and try to please a childish president from US. We will be responsible for the country first. And we will do the things that is required for our growth and development of the country. You have to go a long way in economic terms. We are still, such a low per capita income. We have no choice but to grow. So nobody can stop it.
Indeed. Hi, Porinju. Morning. This is Shrishti also joining in. Yes, of course, fair point there, where you say that India economy is this big and we cannot only rely on the US right now, but one sector that relies heavily on US is actually the pharma space. You have been vocal about select companies in the pharma space which have a good growth leg going ahead, good opportunity to grow. But given this tariff uncertainty, do you think that pharma will be spared from the tariff announcements, or do you think that maybe in this sort of a fall, it's a good time to buy the pharma counters right there? Your take on pharma?
I feel I fully agree with you. This tariff noise is there, and for the time being, it is spared. The pharma in general is mostly spared from this tariff crisis. But we can't predict, after a couple of months or a couple of weeks, maybe today evening, we can talk some nonsense about it also. So we can't really, so we have to ignore these short to medium term things, tariff war, the arguments going on. So pharma, we definitely have a huge competitive advantage in manufacturing and supplying globally. Our, research and development, we have got wonderful pharma companies. I have talked last time about Piramal Pharma, one stock we have been holding in PMS for since long time. Has been highly rewarding too. So after this tariff thing, I was just looking at the various segments of the company. Where all do they manufacture? Where all do they sell? So I found even if this tariff is imposed in an exorbitant way, still Piramal Pharma for me looking good. I'm just telling a name, which is we are holding, one of our core holding in portfolio management.
Okay, amidst all that uncertainty, it's one voice of sanity. But Porinju, thank you so much for your time today and speaking with us. Okay, let me just revisit where the markets have settled in at, and the show of resilience clearly continues. At least that's what the first signs were indicating. And right now too, we're at the 20